System of equations. A system of equations contains two equations and two variables. For example, take a look at these examples here. Four examples we have here. The first one says negative 3x plus 2y equals to 4. This is one equation. And negative 3x plus y equals to 5. So the second equation. If you have two equations and two variables, you can solve for the value of each variable. So we can find the value of x and the value of y. To solve a system of equation, the easiest way is the elimination method. We can use elimination method. The elimination method uses the addition property of equations. It simply means that if you have two equations with two variables, then you can add these two. You can add them. Let's take a look at the first one. Let's see how we can solve this one. So we know that we can add these two, but we want to eliminate. If you want to use the elimination method, then you need to remove one variable. If you remove one variable and you get one equation, then you can solve for that variable. Here we have negative 3x plus 2y equals to 4 and negative 3x plus y equals to 5. To solve for these, we just need to multiply this equation or the top one by negative 1. Then we get negative 1 times negative 3x is just 3x. Negative 1 times y is negative y. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Remember that we can multiply both sides of the equation with the same number. So when you multiply by negative 1, you need to multiply both sides. Now we have this equation, the new equation, and the first equation. If you add these two, negative 3x plus 3x, these two cancel out. Then 2y minus y is just y, equals to 4 plus negative 5 is negative 1. 4 plus negative 5 is negative 1. So y is negative 1. So if you use this equation or this one, then you can solve for the other variable. Let's just write it here. Negative 3x plus 2. But what is the variable of y? We found it before. It is negative 1. And the other side of the equation here is 4. So negative 3x is just negative 3x. Negative 2 plus 2 times negative 1 is just negative 2. Equals to 4. So you have one equation and you have one variable. It's a multi-step equation and you can solve it by adding 2 to both sides. So if you add 2, these two cancel out. So negative 3x is just negative 3x equals to 4 plus 2 is just 6. If you divide both sides by negative 3, x is 6 divided by negative 3 is just negative 2. So here x is negative 2 and y, we solved it before, negative 1. Now you can check your answer plugging back this value into the equation. So just write it here. Negative 3 times, what is x? X is negative 2. Plus 2, what is y? Negative 1. Is it 4? Let's check. Negative 3 times negative 2 is just 6 minus, because 2 times negative 1 is just negative 2. So, is that true? Yes. 6 minus 2 is 4. So the answer, x equals to negative 2 and y equals to negative 1 is correct. Next one, in this system of equation, actually this one is not a system of equation because the one equation is solved for the variable. So, but we still have two equations. In this case, is actually having this part. So x is negative 9. For this one, just plug in the value of negative 9 into the next equation. So 15x minus 10, but what is y? Y is negative 9 equals to 30. Now 15x is just 15x. Negative 10 times negative 9 is positive 90 is 30. Now subtract 90 from both sides. 15x is, these two cancel out, is 30 minus 90 is negative 60. And if you divide both sides by 15, x is negative 60 divided by 15 is negative 4. So x, we found it, is negative 4. If you check the answer, 15 times negative 4 is negative 60. Negative 10 times negative 9 is plus 90. Is it 30? Yes, 90 minus 60 is 30. So the answer is correct. Let's check this one. Here we want to remove one variable. You can multiply these two. So we have negative 12x plus 3y equals to negative 6. And we have 4x minus 15y equals to 30. So to remove one variable, choose one variable that you want to remove. Let's choose x. Let's just remove x. How can we remove x? That one is negative 12x, but this one is 4x. So we need to multiply both sides of this equation by 3. If you multiply by 3, you get 12x minus 3 times 15 is 45y equals to 3 times 30 is 90. Now, we have two equations, this equation and this equation. We can add them up. Negative 12x plus 12x is just 0. They cancel out. These two cancel out when you're adding. Then 3y minus 45y, it is negative 42y equals to negative 6. Negative 6 plus 90, it is 84. So negative 42y equals to 84. If you divide both sides by negative 42, so negative 42 divided by negative 42 is just y equals to, and 84 divided by negative 42 is negative 2. So y is negative 2, and now we can easily plug in back into this equation or this equation. Let's check the first one. You can choose this one or this one. Doesn't matter. So negative 12x plus 3, but y is negative 2, right? And the answer is negative 6 from this equation. The next step, negative 12x plus 6, 3 times negative 2 is just negative 6. So it is negative 12x minus 6 equals to minus 6. So add 6 both sides. Add 6. Then these two cancel out. Negative 12x is 0. If you divide both sides by 0, by negative 12, x is 0. Divide both sides by negative 12. 0 divided by any number is just 0. So x is 0. Let's check. Negative 12x times 0 is just 0. That's it, 0. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Yeah, that works here. But let's check this one also. 4 times 0 is just 0. Negative 15 times negative 2 is just 30. And the answer is correct. Let's take a look at this one. Now here in this case, y is one side, x is the other side. Let's just bring this x this side. So it becomes, I just write it above this one. So it is 6. If you add 6x both sides, plus 6x, this becomes 6x plus 3y equals to 12. Now these two, we want to remove one variable. The easiest way to remove one variable, here we have 3y, that is 9y, negative 9y. So just multiply this by 3. So 3 times 6x, I just write it down here, is 18x. 3 times 3y is 9y plus 9y. And 3 times 12 is 36. Now add these two up. 8x and 18x is 26x. These two cancel out. Equals to negative 10 plus 36 is just 26. So if you divide both sides by 26, x is just 1. If x is 1, let's check the answer here. We know that 3y equals to negative 6 times 1 plus 12. So negative 6 times 1 is negative 6, plus 12 is just 6. So 3y is 6. Divide both sides by 3. So y is 2. Here y is 2. You can check the answer. Let's just check it. Just here it says x times 8 times 1 is 8 minus, and 9 times negative 9 times 2 is 18. So 8 minus 18 is negative 10. So your answer is correct.